Picture this completely peaceful, totally normal afternoon. You're sitting comfortably in your room, casually sipping a warm cup of coffee, scrolling through short videos on your phone, and ignoring all of your urgent adult responsibilities. Outside your window, bright golden sunlight is shining down from the sky, warming the pavement, feeding the trees, and illuminating the entire world. Then, without a single warning, without an explosion, and without a dramatic Hollywood sound effect, the sun simply turns off. It does not shrink, it does not collapse into a supermassive supernova, and it does not shoot out deadly massive solar flares. It just instantly turns completely black, like a light bulb someone suddenly unplugged from the cosmic wall outlet. Now, here's a mind-bending question for you. How long would it take for you, sitting right there on your couch, to realize that the center of our solar system has just died? The answer is exactly 8 minutes and 20 seconds. You see, light does not travel instantaneously across the universe. Even though light is the absolute fastest thing in existence, zooming through the vacuum of space at a mind-boggling speed of 186,000 miles per second, the sun is roughly 93 million miles away from Earth. That means the sunlight hitting your face right now left the surface of the sun over 8 minutes ago. So, for 8 full minutes and 20 seconds after the sun completely vanishes, humanity would go about its day in absolute blissful ignorance. People would keep eating lunch, driving their cars, arguing on the internet, and complaining about the weather, completely unaware that the cosmic engine powering all life on Earth has just gone cold and dead. But then, at exactly 8 minutes and 21 seconds, the sky snaps black. It would not look like a gradual, peaceful sunset. It would look like someone flipped a giant master light switch for the entire planet. Day instantly turns into pitch-black midnight. People outside would stop in their tracks, look up at the black sky in total confusion, and start screaming. Millions of panic-stricken phone calls would flood emergency networks simultaneously, crashing global communication grids within seconds. But the vanishing of sunlight is only half of the horror. You see, the sun is not just our primary source of light and heat. It is a massive gravitational anchor, weighing 330,000 times more than planet Earth. Its immense gravity holds our entire solar system together, keeping all 8 planets orbiting smoothly like a giant cosmic clockwork mechanism. And here is where Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity enters the chat with some terrifying physics. According to general relativity, gravity does not act instantly across space. Gravitational waves travel through the fabric of space-time at the exact same speed as light. That means, for those same 8 minutes and 20 seconds, Earth would continue orbiting a ghost, an invisible point in space where the sun used to be. But the moment that 8th minute passes, the gravitational tether snapping loose is identical to letting go of a heavy rock tied to a spinning string. Deprived of the sun's massive gravitational pull, Earth immediately flies off its circular orbit in a straight line, shooting out into the deep, dark, freezing vacuum of interstellar space at a terrifying speed of 67,000 miles per hour. We are no longer a cozy planet with a warm star. We are now a rogue, abandoned rock drifting aimlessly through the galaxy. Within minutes, the moon completely disappears from the night sky. Why? Because the moon does not produce its own light. It merely acts as a giant cosmic mirror, reflecting sunlight back to Earth. With no sunlight to bounce off its dusty surface, the moon fades into absolute pitch-black invisibility. The only lights left in the sky are the distant stars and planets. But within hours, gas giants like Jupiter and Saturn vanish from view as well, as their reflected sunlight fades into the dark. Back on Earth, streetlights flick on automatically, power grids strain under sudden massive electricity spikes, and total global chaos breaks out in every major city. But while humanity is running around in total panic, the clock on our planet's survival has officially started ticking. And things are about to get exponentially colder, darker, and much more lethal. Now that Earth is zooming through the frozen void of deep space like a runaway billiard ball at 67,000 miles per hour, let us look at what happens to our global climate and ecosystems over the coming days, weeks, and months. During the first 24 hours of eternal darkness, the temperature on the surface does not drop as fast as you might expect. You see, Earth's thick atmosphere acts like a massive thermal blanket, trapping the heat that was absorbed by the oceans, soil, and concrete throughout the day. On day 1, global surface temperatures drop to around 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. It feels like a chilly, crisp autumn night. But without a giant nuclear fusion reactor in the sky, constantly blasting new thermal radiation back onto the surface, that stored heat evaporates into space at a terrifying rate. By the end of the first week, the average global temperature drops to 0 degrees Fahrenheit. By month 1, it plummets to a bone-chilling minus 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Think about how horrifyingly fast that changes daily life. Every single lake, river, pond, and swimming pool on planet Earth freezes solid within days. Municipal water pipes burst open inside city walls, shutting off fresh running water to billions of homes. Electric power grids, overwhelmed by hundreds of millions of people cranking up their electric heaters simultaneously, collapse into total blackout across entire continents. But while humans are frantically burning furniture, wooden fences, and old books just to stay warm inside their homes, nature experiences a complete, violent annihilation. Photosynthesis, the vital chemical reaction that turns sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide into oxygen and plant food, instantly halts across the entire globe the second the sun dies. Within days, microscopic phytoplankton floating on the surface of the ocean begin to die off in massive trillions. Small plants, leafy crops, and lush tropical forests wither and turn brown. Without living plants to feed on, farm livestock, wild herbivores, insects, and bird populations suffer a catastrophic global collapse. Within weeks, the complex food chain that supported life on Earth for hundreds of millions of years crumbles into absolute dust. The only plants that survive this initial freeze are massive, ancient trees like giant redwoods, which have enough stored nutrient reserves inside their thick trunks to technically stay alive in a dormant state for several years. But even they are living on borrowed time. By month 2, surface temperatures drop to an unbelievable minus 150 degrees Fahrenheit. The world's oceans begin to freeze over. Now, you might think that the oceans freezing would mean the end of all marine life, but ocean physics is actually surprisingly weird and forgiving. Ice is less dense than liquid water, so as the top layer of the ocean freezes, it floats to the surface. This top sheet of ice acts as a massive, thick thermal insulator, trapping the liquid water underneath and preventing it from freezing all the way down to the seabed. A top crust of ice, several meters thick, locks out the atmospheric cold, allowing liquid water oceans to exist beneath the surface for hundreds or even thousands of years. Down in those pitch-black, pressurized ocean depths, life continues almost completely unfazed by the apocalypse happening above. Deep-sea hydrothermal vents, cracks in the ocean floor that spew hot, mineral-rich magma from Earth's core, continue to feed entire ecosystems of blind shrimp, giant tube worms, and chemosynthetic bacteria. They do not need sunlight. They do not care about the sun. They derive all their energy directly from Earth's internal geothermal heat. If aliens visited Earth a year after the sun died, they would find a dead, frozen ice ball on the surface, completely unaware that a thriving underwater alien world was swimming in the deep, dark below. But back up on the surface, what about humanity? Are we all dead yet, or did some of us manage to outsmart the cosmic freeze? So, can humanity actually survive on a frozen, sunless, rogue planet drifting through deep space? Well, if you were planning on sitting on your porch with a thick blanket and a hot cup of cocoa, I have bad news for you. You are going to freeze into a solid human ice cube within weeks. But for a small, lucky fraction of the human population, total extinction is not immediate. To survive in a world where the surface temperature drops to minus 300 degrees Fahrenheit, you have to go deep underground. The most viable safe havens for surviving humans would be military nuclear bunkers, deep underground research labs, abandoned salt mines, and facilities built near geothermal hotspots like Iceland or Yellowstone. Places like Iceland are powered almost entirely by volcanic heat bubbling up from deep inside Earth's mantle. Underneath Iceland's soil, molten magma heats up underground reservoirs of water, providing a virtually endless supply of clean geothermal electricity and hot steam. Inside massive, sealed underground bunkers powered by small nuclear reactors or geothermal energy, humans could build hydroponic farms with artificial ultraviolet lighting, grow crops, recycle water, and survive for decades or even centuries. But while a few thousand humans are living like high-tech moles deep beneath the Earth's crust, the surface world undergoes a final, surreal transformation that sounds like pure science fiction. By year one of eternal night, global surface temperatures stabilize at a mind-numbing -330 degrees Fahrenheit. At this insane temperature, physics starts doing weird things to our air. You see, the atmosphere surrounding Earth is made mostly of nitrogen and oxygen gas. But when the temperature drops low enough, gases condense into liquids. First, atmospheric moisture and carbon dioxide freeze solid, snowing down onto the ground as dry ice. Then, as temperatures plummet even further, the very air we breathe turns into liquid. Giant blue clouds of liquid nitrogen and oxygen condense in the upper atmosphere and rain down onto the frozen surface, forming literal lakes, rivers, and oceans of liquid air. Eventually, as Earth cools down to near absolute zero, those liquid air oceans freeze solid, forming a smooth, crystalline sheet of blue nitrogen ice over the entire planet. Earth becomes a completely silent, frozen, atmosphereless cue ball drifting through the pitch-black void of interstellar space. Without an atmosphere, meteorites no longer burn up in the sky. Space rocks smash directly into the frozen nitrogen crust in total, eerie silence. But here's the ultimate plot twist of this cosmic horror story. Earth itself is not destroyed. Earth's core, made of molten iron and nickel, is kept hot by the decay of radioactive isotopes like uranium and thorium. It takes billions of years for a planet's core to cool down. That means Earth would carry its frozen crust, its deep-sea thermal vents, and its underground human bunkers across the galaxy for millions of years. We would become a rogue planet, a cosmic wanderer traveling through the Milky Way. And who knows, after drifting through the dark void for tens of millions of years, Earth's trajectory might eventually pull it into the gravitational orbit of a new, warm young star. The nitrogen ice on the surface would melt back into gas, the oceans would thaw, the atmosphere would reappear, and life could emerge from the deep ocean vents to reclaim the land once again. The death of our sun would be the end of human civilization as we know it, but it proves just how insanely resilient planet Earth really is. So tomorrow morning, when you open your blinds and feel that warm, golden sunlight hitting your skin, take a deep breath and appreciate it, because that giant nuclear fusion ball in the sky is the only thing standing between us and a frozen, eternal nightmare. If you enjoyed this apocalyptic space scenario, smash that like button, subscribe to Cosmic Clueless, and comment below. If the sun turned off right now, what is the first thing you would do in those final 8 minutes of light? Stay curious, stay warm, and keep looking up.